Right now on Good Morning America First Look, the extreme cold setting records as far south as Florida. Historic snow in the Carolinas, hundreds of crashes, including on the train tracks. A major airport forced to briefly close because of the cold, and so many iguanas falling from trees. They're being collected by the boxload. What to expect today?
The 5-year-old detained by immigration agents in Minnesota, flying home from a Texas detention center. Our exclusive one-on-one with his father. And now, word of a potential measles outbreak at that same detention center.
After weeks of controversy and protests by major musicians, President Trump announcing the Kennedy Center may close for years. What he's planning.
The Hazmat investigation in Las Vegas, a possible biological lab inside a house owned by a man from China.
The legal battle over a home video hidden for years, allegedly showing the JFK assassination.
Breaking overnight, the mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie now missing in Arizona.
Plus, music's biggest night.
To all the people that had to leave their home.
The history, performances, and surprises at the Grammys.
And later, a special welcome for a baby giraffe.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm Hannah Battah.
I'm Sophie Flay. We begin with people being asked to conserve electricity because of the extreme cold as far south as Florida.
Everyone's feeling it. It follows a crippling snowstorm in the Carolinas, causing travel delays across the country.
This morning, the cleanup just beginning after a powerful winter storm wreaking havoc across the southeast. Snow and ice stretching from Florida to Virginia. The storm, one of the biggest in North Carolina's history. Charlotte getting nearly a foot of snow. And on the Outer Banks, this house collapsing into the ocean. In Gastonia, this driver fleeing to safety before a train collides with his tractor trailer that was stuck on the tracks. Driving conditions hazardous. More than 1,000 crashes in North Carolina alone. The big concern now, extreme cold. Temperatures plunging into the 20s as far south as Florida.
Orlando Tower is evacuating. All traffic stops.
The cold weather triggering a sprinkler system in the Orlando Airport's control tower, setting off a false fire alarm, temporarily shutting down the airport. Farmers rushing to protect their fruit from the cold. Iguanas now falling from trees, the cold leaving them virtually paralyzed.
They're cold-blooded animals, and they just cannot hold on with the high winds and the cold temperatures.
Once it warms up, they'll safely defrost. Meanwhile, parts of the South are still without power more than 1 week after a separate storm hit the region. More than 30,000 customers in Tennessee are still in the dark.
Thank God for some little propane heaters, been able to keep the house from freezing.
And now Duke Energy is urging customers in the Carolinas and Florida to conserve power to prevent outages.
Everyone trying to make do. At least 110 people have died in the cold weather since last week. And today, single-digit and below zero wind chills are expected from the Midwest to the East Coast.
This morning, 5-year-old Liam is back home. Our cameras were there as the boy detained by immigration agents in Minnesota last month flew home from a detention facility in Texas yesterday. His case igniting questions and controversy, and now new concern as we learn about a potential measles outbreak at that facility. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, Liam Ramos and his father are back home in Minneapolis.
Liam, ¿cómo estás?
The 5-year-old who ignited a national outcry after he was pictured last month in his bunny hat and Spider-Man backpack while being detained by ICE along with his father. A federal judge ordered their release Saturday after more than a week in a Texas detention center. The judge accusing the Trump administration of pursuing daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children. Liam was pictured after his release, the preschooler back in that blue bunny hat. ABC's John Quinones exclusively joining Liam and his father as they made their journey home. Liam saying he's looking forward to reuniting with his mom and brother. Their detention sparked protests outside the ICE facility in Texas where they were held, as opposing narratives about their detention played out. The Trump administration saying Liam's father is an illegal alien from Ecuador who tried to flee and abandon his son. Officials say they tried to hand Liam over to other family members, but they refused.
Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
But advocates for the family say they've followed the legal steps to seek asylum, and Liam's father says he would never abandon his son and only moved a few feet away from him to try to get help.
Entonces lo único que hice fue gritar para que salieran más personas.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says the administration will now appeal their release.
There's a very meaningful dispute about whether they had properly applied for asylum.
Liam's father says the 5-year-old got sick while they were detained.
No tenían.
And he says they were told there was no medicine available. Homeland Security says facilities provide safety, security, and medical needs, saying all detainees are provided with 3 meals a day, clean water, clothing, bedding, showers, soap, and toiletries. It comes as officials last night confirmed 2 detainees at the same facility in Texas have now been infected with measles, saying they are now quarantining all individuals suspected of making contact with the infected. As for Liam's father's asylum case, a court hearing is expected this month. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
One of Liam's first requests when he got home was pizza.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says he's confident lawmakers will pass a bill by tomorrow to end the partial government shutdown. Democrats have been demanding changes in immigration enforcement. Meanwhile, Democrats are celebrating a special election victory in Texas. They flipped a state Senate seat in a red district by double digits.
Iran has released a prominent anti-government protester after President Trump warned the Iranian regime not to execute him. Afran Soltani was sentenced to death last month, but he's now free on bail. It comes as President Trump threatens to launch a new attack on Iran unless the regime agrees to a nuclear deal. Talks are ongoing.
Authorities in hazmat suits are investigating a possible biological lab at a home in Las Vegas. The owner is from China. He's already behind bars in connection with producing unlicensed COVID tests. Police are testing vials found in his home, saying they do not know what's inside them.
This has to be a slow and methodical process by design. We have to take these situations very seriously, and we take all necessary precautions to keep our personnel and community safe.
The homeowner owns nearly 24 properties, which are now being searched.
President Trump says the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, recently renamed the Trump Kennedy Center, could be closing for years. It follows weeks of controversy. Here's ABC's Alison Kosick.
This morning, it appears the Kennedy Center in Washington could be taking a long intermission, possibly closing for 2 years beginning July 4th, pending board approval. President Trump announcing the iconic arts complex will undergo construction, calling it tired, broken, and in bad condition. The move comes after Trump's hand-picked board named him chairman, then changed the name to the Trump Kennedy Center. Several performers have since canceled, including composer Philip Glass, soprano Renee Fleming, a touring group of Hamilton, and the Washington National Opera ended its 50-year affiliation with the venue. Overnight, members of the Kennedy family reacting. Maria Shriver, a niece of John F. Kennedy, writing a satirical translation of Trump's announcement, saying, "It's been brought to my attention that entertainers are canceling left and right, and I have determined that since the name change, no one wants to perform there any longer." Meanwhile, there's growing scrutiny of President Trump and his family's business. The Wall Street Journal reports the Trump family's cryptocurrency firm, World Liberty Financial, sold nearly half the company, a 49% stake, to a member of the Emirati royal family before Trump's inauguration. That investment made the Trump family business partners with the United Arab Emirates, even as Trump shapes foreign policy in the region. Months later, the Trump administration approved a deal to send highly coveted American AI computer chips to the UAE, raising concern among ethics experts.
Of course there's a conflict. Why is Donald Trump focused on enriching himself, his family, and his friends, as opposed to focused on driving down the high cost of living?
World Liberty Financial says President Trump had no involvement in the transaction, saying any claim that this deal had anything to do with the administration's actions on chips is 100% false. And the White House says the president has no involvement in business deals that would implicate his constitutional responsibilities.
Some experts have voiced concern about the UAE obtaining American AI chips. fearing they could get into the hands of the Chinese. Hannah, Sophie?
Alison, thanks. Time now for your Groundhog Day weather forecast.
Good morning. After the major winter storm over the Carolinas over the weekend, we still have winter weather advisories in that area just by virtue of the fact we have very treacherous roads, snow-covered roads out there. And look at the extreme cold warnings all the way down to Florida, where we're waking up this morning to temperatures in the 20s. Jacksonville, Orlando down to about 36 in Miami. Tampa getting down to the freezing mark this morning. Temperatures moderating a little bit during the course of the week, though. And speaking of moderation, we could get up to near the freezing mark for the first time in 10 days in New York City. Flurries in the Great Lakes, a little bit of snow streaking through parts of the high plains. Meteorologist Jeff Smith, ABC News.
Coming up, remembering a star from a popular 70s sitcom.
But first, the legal battle over a home video hidden for years, allegedly showing the JFK assassination.
And a major development overnight concerning new files from the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Breaking overnight, the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie is missing in Arizona, and police are not ruling out foul play. Authorities say the family called to report 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie missing. She was last seen Saturday night near her home in Tucson, and we're told she does not have cognitive issues.
I don't need to tell you, this is very concerning to us. You don't typically get the sheriff out at a scene like this, but it's very concerning.
Homicide detectives were on the scene. Police say the investigation is ongoing.
3 members of a fraternity are under arrest after the death of a student. Police say an 18-year-old was found unresponsive at Northern Arizona University after a pledge event for Delta Tau Delta over the weekend. 3 members of the fraternity's executive board now face hazing charges. Lawyers for more than 200 alleged victims of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein are asking a judge to shut down the government's Epstein Files website. They say the Justice Department failed to redact names and identifying information of nearly 100 survivors in Friday's release of the documents. The New York Times reports it found dozens of images of nude women in the files. Most were taken down after the Justice Department was notified.
We could soon get a new view of the JFK assassination from a home movie. The New York Post reports the grainy footage focuses on the grassy knoll where some people claim a second shooter was lurking. A judge is now reportedly allowing a legal case brought by the family of the man who shot the film to go forward. The family wants the government to turn over the film.
Fans of the 70s sitcom Sanford and Son are remembering DeMond Wilson. For 6 seasons, he starred on the show with his junk dealer father, played by Red Fox. Wilson then stepped away from show business and was ordained as a minister. He was 79.
Coming up, the Super Bowl less than a week away, and it's already setting records.
Also ahead, the top moments from music's biggest night. The Grammys next. The Seattle Seahawks have arrived in the San Francisco Bay Area as Super Bowl preparations ramp up. Earlier, fans were lining the road as their team buses departed, and about 30,000 Patriots fans here braved the frigid temperatures for their team's send-off in Foxborough. Both teams will take questions from reporters today. Meanwhile, the Super Bowl is already setting records for the commercials. A 30-second ad will cost you up to $10 million. That is up from $7 million on average last year, all because of the high demand. Up to 130 million people are expected to watch.
Now to music's biggest night, the big winners and top moments from the Grammys. Overnight, Bad Bunny making Grammys history.
And the Grammy goes to Bad Bunny.
The Puerto Rican superstar becoming the first Spanish-language artist to win the biggest award of the night, Album of the Year.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country to follow their dreams.
The win kicking off a historic week for the 31-year-old. On Sunday, he'll take center stage at the Super Bowl halftime show.
And the Grammy goes to Lady Gaga!
A big night, too, for Lady Gaga, who took home the award for Best Pop Vocal Album and cast a spell with her hit Abracadabra. Bruno Mars with a bit of magic on his own, performing not once,
It's whatever you like.
but twice. And despite leaving without any trophies, Sabrina Carpenter managed to steal the show with her performance.
What would I do if I didn't love you?
Justin Bieber making his return to the Grammy stage, delivering a stripped-down performance. Literally.
I just wanna be the one to give you what you want.
Performing a medley in just his boxers, wife Hailey Bieber showing her approval.
Everybody needs a hero.
Reba McEntire performing at the Grammys for the first time in honor of her late stepson, talent manager Brandon Blackstock. Reba leading the tribute section, which included Post Malone performing War Pigs in honor of Ozzy Osbourne. And there was a mini Fugees reunion as Lauryn Hill and surprise guest Wyclef Jean paid tribute to Roberta Flack.
Killing me softly with his song. Killing me softly with his song.
Some surprises among the award winners, too. Billie Eilish taking home Song of the Year for Wildflower, beating out the heavily favored Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. But perhaps the biggest surprise of the night came in this moment from Cher.
And the Grammy goes to
Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA winning Record of the Year, but Cher said what sounded like the name of singer Luther Vandross, whom the song is named after.
Oh, the Grammy goes to Luther Vandross!
During the winner's speech, a clearly embarrassed Cher could be seen apologizing in the background, but Lamar took the mix-up in stride.
We appreciate you at the bottom of our hearts. Luther forever.
It was a great night, and now we look forward to next year. The Grammys are headed to ABC, Disney Plus, and Hulu in 2027. I loved all the tributes.
Yes.
So touching. Coming up, the shortest player in the NBA celebrates a tall achievement.
Plus, Melania surprises critics at the box office. Time to check the pulse. We begin with the smallest guy in the NBA, now standing tall.
No kidding. So he's with the Chicago Bulls. Yuki Kawamura is the shortest guy in the league at just 5'7". But on Saturday, he won a jump ball against an opponent 10 inches taller than him.
He says it's his first jump ball win since he started playing. Next, the First Lady's new documentary surprising critics at the box office.
Melania made $7 million this week, and that's the best opening for a non-music documentary in more than a decade. But Amazon paid $75 million to distribute and promote the movie. Next, the full trailer is out for The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Meryl Streep is back with Anne Hathaway, but things get off to a rough start.
Hello?
Well, look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
Sorry. Who is this? Do you know her? Do I know her?
I'm Andy Sachs. Andrea.
She was one of the Emilys.
One of the what?
The movie comes out in May. So excited. Next, a special delivery at a zoo in Utah.
A baby giraffe. Take a look at this precious photo of the new calf. The healthy baby boy weighed 139 pounds, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall at birth. He looks so small compared to those adults. Too precious. And finally, what would you do if you saw this on the street?
A laundry bin was speeding out of control down the hills of San Francisco. One worker trying to grab it before it hit a car. Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, new clashes in Minneapolis. Federal agents detained a man in this park and deployed pepper spray before arresting him. Agents also pulled over a woman with their guns drawn. They say she was disrupting an operation. Meanwhile, 2 cases of measles are confirmed at an ICE detention center in Texas.
After several musicians canceled performances at the Kennedy Center in Washington, President Trump says the venue will close this summer for 2 years for renovations pending board approval. The board recently changed the name to the Trump Kennedy Center.
New questions for the former Prince Andrew. Newly released photos from the Epstein files show him crouched over a young woman. He also faces a new allegation from a second woman who claims she was trafficked to him by Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew has not responded to the claim.
Today's weather: rain in the northwest, snow in the plains and Midwest, and the eastern U.S. is feeling an Arctic blast with dangerous wind chills from the plains down to Florida.
And finally, a modern-day one-man band.
Here's Danny New.
Put on like a rock and roll crazy beat.
You give him one request.
About to go to the box. Got caught with an ox.
And on the spot, the man known as Ari at Home will conjure up any beat you'd like.
Every time I'm outside, it's kind of like a party. A little bit now.
In the past few years, 26-year-old Ari Miller has become famous to millions online.
Are you jumping on this?
I got it.
Here you go, bro.
As he struts around New York City with his rigged music machine.
I'll take it back on the ground like a Bowser. You can see me Google Chrome, that's the browser.
It makes you wonder if everybody on the planet secretly has musical talent.
the ethos of it is like anyone that wants to get on the mic is allowed to and is able to.
Now, technically speaking, Ari does not have too much formal musical training. But he has clearly been creating his own music from an early age.
And I wake up feeling great.
So after years of experimenting with making beats in his room, in 2023 he had this idea to take his act on the road, or really, the streets. This has now led to him collaborating with a violinist, a man on his bicycle with a cat, and even Grammy-winning music legend Wyclef Jean.
The fact that Wyclef Jean was like, I know you, and you were like, you do? He was like, of course I know you.
That was pretty cool.
But Ari says perhaps the most rewarding part of this experience
Shorty, yo, I'm a thousandaire. I can spend 1,000 over here.
has been when two strangers get to connect and perform together on one of his songs, like this one featuring a local rapper and a nearby doorman.
The idea that I get to assist in that's really like beautiful.
And guys, Ari has tried this in other cities, so for everyone out there, be careful. If you're walking down the street, you see a guy with a giant piano-looking thing, prepare to show the world you're beautiful. Musical gifts. Guys.
Okay, Danny.
I hope I see him. That's your Good Morning America first look.
Have a great day, everyone.